Hey everyone, and welcome to Between the Lines. I'm Ian Nepetian, and today we have a very special guest in store for you guys today, as we've got Tommy Sacco joining me here on the podcast. Tommy, thank you so much for coming today. It's a pleasure to have you, and I can't wait to talk about some baseball with you.
Yeah, I can't. I'm excited to be here, and let's get it going.
Let's do it. So, I do want to start off just, I guess, early in your childhood. I want to talk about, or just ask you, how was it growing up for you? What was baseball always the sport for you, or were there other sports that you were really into? And I just want to, figure out how did baseball become the sport for you?
Yeah, so growing up, baseball was kind of that main sport for me. It was thanks to my dad and my grandpa, my dad's dad. They coached my t-ball little league on the Yankees, so that was kind of always around. I golfed a little bit when I was younger because my dad was a golf pro. But baseball was the one that kind of stuck at a young age.
Okay, very nice, very nice. And I'm very glad that you chose baseball because you're definitely a fantastic baseball player to watch.
Appreciate it.
And one of the things that I really enjoyed watching at TCU baseball was your ability to switch hit. And I'm curious where that all started from. Could you talk a little bit about that and I guess the origins of where you started, and was it something that you began doing from a very young age, or did you at some point figure out, hey, this is something that I should start doing and start learning?
Yeah, so my dad, he played baseball, like I said, and he said if he was gonna have a son, he wanted him to switch it like Mickey Mantle because that was his favorite player.
Yeah.
So that kind of I started right when I started playing baseball and t-ball. I go
Wow.
up one side either side, and then next at bat I go up the next side and just
Okay.
kind of keep alternating. And during practice, I'd always take five from one side and five from the other, and he used to have me do things with both hands to like get both of my brain going. So
Yeah.
like I'd use the knife one night on my left hand, and then the other night's my right, or pour milk on one hand and pour milk on the other. So you'd always just kind of develop that right when I started growing up.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Is there a side that you feel particularly stronger in, or for you, is it both sides are pretty solid?
It varies during season. Um, at the very beginning of the season, my right side felt a whole lot better, and then kind of like it evens out, and then left side feels a little bit good, and then that ride that, and then I remember towards the end of the regional, my right side felt better than my left. So
Sure.
it'll vary. It all depends
Okay.
on how many lefty or right-handed pitchers we face during the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. No, totally. So now switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about your time at TCU. Um, so obviously you're from Fort Worth. Can you talk a little bit about how and when TCU entered the picture for for your collegiate baseball career? How was that?
Yeah, so I originally went to Yavapai Junior College out of high school. It's over in Prescott, Arizona, and did good there. I never had D1 offers coming out of high school, so coming out of JUCO, I had a lot of D1 offers. Um, I was originally going to go to DBU, and then TCU reached out like early in the week, and then like a couple days later, I was on the visit, and then on the visit, I committed. Alex Isola, he was a former baseball player at TCU. He kind of reached out to Coach Mo and was like, "Hey, you need to go look at my guy Yavapai. He plays shortstop." So Mo came out, liked what he saw, and then got me on a visit a couple days later, and that's kind of how all that happened.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, yeah. Well, so what about TCU drew you to choosing the school? What was there something about the program or about the school that really kind of capped it off for you?
Yeah, it was kind of everything. I mean, the school is fantastic, like education wise, and just like how nice everything is, and how like the networking and everything. But also like the history of the baseball program was there. Like the history of winning was there, always being in a regional or and winning the Big 12 championship. So it's kind of that history that draws you into things like that.
Sure, sure. Now, in your 3 years playing with TCU baseball, you've gotten the chance to play with both Jim Schlossnagle, who's now at Texas A&M, and now Kirk Saarloos. Can you
Mhm.
talk a little bit about there's similarities and differences in coaching styles, and maybe just compare them?
Yeah, well, they both have really 2 winning coaching styles as we've seen. You know, Coach Los is a pitching guy. He's always been around the pitchers. Coach Mo was always around the hitters. Um, Coach Slosh liked to oversee everything, so there's maybe that, but opposed to the similarities, you know, you don't really notice kinda in the you don't really notice during a season,
Yeah,
Um, they just both know how to win in their own right, which is awesome. Like
yeah,
you would neither of them would be the successful coaches that they were without it. So I think that's the biggest thing is just their styles of work for them. And I had fun playing for both of them.
yeah.
I really enjoyed being able to, play under Slosh and then get to be with Los's first year.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. Now I guess moving on, so in previously having had guys like David Bishop on and Elijah Nunez, I talked to them a little bit about the growth that they saw from their high school years through their freshman year and then their second year and third year and beyond that. Can you spend a few minutes talking about how your collegiate journey's been and how you've seen yourself grow over that span of, your first year and now that you've graduated?
Yeah. Probably, my first year at Yavapai, didn't really have any expectations going into it. I think I hit like I want to say like 313 with 6 homers. Um, roughly I could probably recall the rest, but it's all right. And I didn't think I was really a double digit homer guy, and I knew I was a high average guy, but not really a homer guy. I never really tried to hit homers.
Sure.
And then, the next year I hit 7 homers with 330. Um, and then my first year, I was still kind of that like just base hit guy. And then this year was kind of the year the power started to come more consistently.
Yeah.
So I think that was just kind of getting out of high school strength to go to like college strength. Now being at 23, it got like more strength than I did when I was 18. I
Sure.
think that's just kind of where that's coming about.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, baseball is a sport that everyone knows is filled with hot streaks and droughts. So,
Mm.
how has it been for you navigating through both hot streaks and droughts throughout your baseball career? Or were there, were there any rituals that you tried to stick to, or any superstitions that you had to I guess stay on a path and try to work through certain hard points?
Yeah, so my 2020 year, my 2021 year was probably like that biggest drought I've ever had. Um, and then I didn't really develop rituals, but I kind of developed like the routines you could say of,
Sure.
I got certain drills that will help. Nothing crazy like I gotta wear 2 socks on one foot, nothing crazy like that.
Yeah.
But just kind of developing those routines that can make me consistent was probably the biggest thing I've done to help through those
Sure.
droughts.
Sure. What are some of the craziest rituals or superstitions that you've seen from some of your teammates or coaches in the past?
I think Garrett Wright's got the most I've ever seen. He always has to drink an old Palmer. He always like has to. I know he's got a. I know that's the biggest one is he always has to drink an Arnold Palmer before the game. Um, but he's got a couple more. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I think
Nice.
that's the most specific one I've seen
Yeah.
is Arnold Palmer before a game.
Very nice. Arnold Palmer
Yeah,
before the game. All right.
yeah,
Sounds good. Now moving on. Again, a lot of people know that the life of a D1 athlete is extremely busy, whether that's spending time training and practicing and being at games. And if you're not training or being at games, then you're probably doing schoolwork and trying to stay on top of, other things that comes with everyday college life.
hmm
And so that obviously doesn't leave so much spare time. And so I'm curious, when you do get time to spend, whether that's with friends or family or with other people, how do you spend your time? Or what things outside of the baseball diamond do you like to enjoy doing?
yeah. So I would say the biggest one is I like to golf. I don't golf too much during season. Maybe if we like if it everything falls into place and I can go out and play a couple holes, I'll go. That's the biggest one for me because it's something competitive I can do that's outside of baseball that can kind of take my mind off of baseball.
Sure.
Um, there's that. I like usually it's just sitting around home and watching movies with like my roommates or doing something there, playing video games. Those are the biggest deals where like you can just kind of stay in the air conditioning and hang out with them. And
Yeah.
you get to hang out with like guys on the like Braden that lives in
Mhm.
a completely different house and we play video games together, something like that.
Nice. Yeah,
So
yeah.
just simple things like that.
Sure, sure. Now, talk to me a little bit about how it is after a college season ends. There's because there's the summer break, and sometimes it can be difficult to, I mean, obviously, college teams don't train together during the summer. Talk to
Mhm.
me a little bit about how that is when the summer creeps up. What are your thoughts about, okay, how am I going to stay in shape over the summer? What are things I'm going to do to stay on my game?
Yeah, so when it comes to summer, our strength coach, Zach Dakin, he does a really good job of setting out programs for guys to follow. That he doesn't have to work with the kids to come back in the fall, so that when they do come back, they're already kind of ready for because they've been doing those programs. He doesn't have to reteach anything, which is really big. Um, but yeah, it's kind of you kind of split off after season goes, and it's a matter of like a week. Yeah, guys go, and they're all over in summer ball or just go back home. And if you're coming back to TCU, you gotta make sure like you're getting your workouts in and all that stuff. You just go work out in your little neighborhood gym, and it's a little different. Or what a lot of guys do is they stay with Coach Dakin and they work out at TCU, which is pretty awesome.
Sure.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So now, I guess shifting gears again, I want to talk a little bit about this last season. This was obviously your last season playing for TCU, and at least for me as a freshman and seeing this team play, it was an absolutely magical season to watch. Winning the Big 12, and then going into the college tournament after that. What are some of the moments that you'll remember the most out of your college career?
Probably winning those Big 12 titles is the biggest thing for me. We won it last year. But we kind of we co-tied with Texas. We ended up winning the tournament, so it kind of felt like we beat them. Um, but and then this year, winning it outright, that was really cool to win it outright. You didn't have to share it with anybody, which is awesome. And we actually got to have the trophy. We got to
Yeah,
celebrate with the trophy last year. We didn't celebrate with the trophy like we did on the field, so that was pretty fun.
yeah,
But it's just kind of like, those big memories are something you'll miss. It's also the little memories you're like showing up and every day of practice is different. Like different people do well, like there's different jokes, there's different people, like everything's different. So you never really know showing up to feel what you're gonna get. So just kind of little things like that you'll probably miss, hitting in the cage
yeah,
before a game, you'll miss, feeling that energy, stuff, just those little things that sneak up on you that you don't really realize in the moment.
yeah,
But after you're like, damn, that's tough.
yeah, yeah. No,
Mm.
I totally understand that. And I guess on that same note, obviously you're so highly thought of in this program and among TCU baseball fans and TCU students and TCU alumni. What are you most proud of about yourself, and how do you want to be remembered?
Yeah, I'd say I feel like the biggest thing for me when how I'll be remembered is, I came back after that 2021 season, and then I felt like I wasn't done, with that Big 12 ring. I feel like I didn't
Yeah,
earn it. Um, I feel like everybody else earned it for me. So then coming back and being able to win Big 12 again, having the year I did was like kind of like, I feel like I earned this ring, which is really special to me. So I feel like that's kind of the biggest thing I'll be remembered for.
sure, sure. Now, in baseball and in every other sport and other aspects of life, there's life lessons to take away. What are some lessons that you've learned during your time at TCU, or even just over your career in baseball, or just life in general, that you've taken away?
Yeah, I'd say probably the biggest life lessons is It kind of goes with our core values of being selfless, excellence, and energy, and have energy. Um, you do that for 3 years straight. It kind of just becomes a part of you. Not like you weren't before, like you were trying to be before, but like at TCU, those are your core values. So you're there and you got to preach it every day. So that's kind of the biggest thing that, you just kind of TCU molds everybody into, is being those three things every day.
Yeah,
And that other one is, baseball isn't who I am. It's something I do. A bad day at the field doesn't mean you're a terrible person. Good day at the field doesn't mean you're the best person in the world. It's something you get to enjoy. And I feel like that's the biggest thing. That's kind of what helped me through this last year is, if I did go 0 for 4, like it's okay. Like I'm
right.
going to be able to do it again. And then not every 0 for 4 is a bad 0 for 4.
Yeah,
It's perspective. And
yeah,
that's kind of the biggest thing I came out with TCU with.
yeah. No, no, that's definitely a great way to think about it. Now, what's next for Tommy Sacco, right? You spent 3 years at TCU, having a fantastic baseball career. What's next for you? What should we be expecting?
Yeah, so right now it's just a waiting game. Hopefully the draft goes well. See what happens there. If it turns out, then I'll go play some more. If not, then I'll probably try to figure out something else to do. Maybe some with my degree, maybe not. Who knows? So it's just a waiting game right now. Just gotta wait
Yeah.
a couple weeks.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Well, that brings us to our last segment of the episode, and that is going to be some rapid fire questions sent in by our fans. So, Tommy, you ready for these questions?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right. So, what's your go-to pregame meal?
Go to pregame meal. I don't really have a big one because they kind of provide it for us.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the breakfast that we do at Buffalo Bros. So I think I'll just go with that one because usually
Okay.
they just kind of provide us some pregame meals.
Yeah. All right. Favorite class during your time at TCU?
Favorite what?
Favorite class?
Favorite class? There was a It was with Professor Simon. There was a crime scene investigation class. He like set up crime scenes for us and we got to process them, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was really hands-on, like you learn how to like fingerprint things and take blood like from off of like clothes and stuff like that. So I'd say that class was pretty cool.
Oh, very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. All right. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Yes or no?
No.
No.
If you
Okay.
ask anybody in my family, no. My girlfriend loves pineapple on her pizza and
Really?
I give her grief for it every time she wants it. So
That's
no,
awesome.
no
Okay.
pineapple, please.
Okay. Biggest sports inspiration outside of baseball?
Biggest sports inspiration. Um, I'd probably say how my dad got into baseball. He didn't play high school baseball and he was the first walk on to start at Miami University. And he ended up winning a national championship in '82. And when he tried to walk on, he was kind of told like, walk-ons don't make it at the U. And he kind of was just like, all right, well, watch me do it. And it was one of those stories where he's just like, I'm gonna do it just because I can.
Yeah.
And then he like kind of fell in love with it and ended up winning the national championship. So he's got that over me. I have
Yeah.
two I have two rings, but he's got the good one. So
All right. Favorite player to watch growing up?
Derek Jeter probably.
Yeah.
My whole dad's side are diehard Yankees fans.
Okay.
Everybody, all my family's from New York, but them specifically, they're all diehard Yankees fans. So I would always watch the Yankees when I go over to their house.
Okay.
It was always Derek Jeter.
Nice. Nice. Now, last but not least, who's the most deserving player yet to be inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame?
The most deserving player
Yeah.
is can he already be in there
No, so someone
or
that
like
has yet to be
someone
inducted.
someone that has yet?
Yeah.
Um, I've always been a Pete Rose fan. Um, he's a switch hitter, the
Yeah.
all-time hits leader. I've always been a fan of his. betting on baseball. It's that touchy subject where, he only got caught betting on his team to win.
Yeah.
You never know if he ever did it. I doubt he did it, but it's one of those things where he's the all-time hit leader and
Yeah.
he should be in there, but like again, he broke the rules and it's
Yeah.
just one of those little touchy subjects where you have no idea. But I would
Yeah.
I would say he's probably the biggest one for me
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he didn't do steroids all
Hmm.
and like I feel like that's a different category.
Yeah.
He bet on baseball, but like you said, it's the rules and the rules are rules.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, for me, at least, I definitely think Pete Rose should be in there. I mean,
Mhm.
4,200 hits. I mean, he did so much more than just betting on the game, and it's definitely one of
Yeah,
those things. Just like you said, it's a touchy subject. But when you look at what other players have done and how they've either taken advantage of the game, if that's how people want to phrase it, I mean,
yeah,
he didn't do as much as other guys, and so I definitely
mhm,
agree with you on that. With Pete
yeah,
Rose needing to be in the Hall of Fame, we'll see how that goes. But Tommy, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. It was a pleasure getting to talk to you, getting to know you. And I know I'm speaking for everyone I say this, but thank you so much for everything you've done for TCU, everything that you've done for the program, for TCU baseball, and yeah, thank you so much.
yeah. I really appreciate you reaching out. This was awesome.
No, no, of course. And for everyone at home, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the show. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and be sure to subscribe down below here on our YouTube page. But until next time, we'll see you guys later.